People often assume that those who never get cosmetic surgery are simply more confident, more secure, or less affected by appearance. Psychologically, that assumption is incomplete. Confidence alone does not explain why some people never choose to surgically alter their bodies. For many of them, the decision is not driven by how they feel about beauty, but by how they relate to identity, control, and meaning. People who never get cosmetic surgery still notice how they look. They still experience insecurity. They still compare themselves to others, especially in a world saturated with images, filters, and beauty standards. The difference is not the absence of discomfort. The difference is how discomfort is interpreted. When appearance-related discomfort arises, some people feel an immediate urge to correct it. Others pause. Instead of asking, "How do I fix this part of my body?" they ask, "Why does this bother me so deeply right now?" That psychological pause matters. People who never pursue cosmetic surgery often have a more stable internal reference point. Their sense of self is not built primarily through external evaluation. Approval, attention, and attractiveness may matter, but they are not treated as foundations of identity. Because of this, insecurity does not automatically become a call to action. These individuals often view the body as something that changes naturally over time, rather than a project that must be continuously optimized. They understand that bodies age, shift, soften, and change shape regardless of effort. Aging for them is not interpreted as failure. It is experienced as transition. Wrinkles are not automatically seen as loss. They are seen as evidence of time lived, stress endured, joy expressed, or responsibility carried. This does not mean they romanticize aging. They may dislike certain changes. They may feel grief for a younger version of themselves. But discomfort is not treated as an emergency. Another important psychological trait is tolerance for imperfection. People who never choose cosmetic surgery often have a higher tolerance for asymmetry, unpredictability, and visible history. They do not equate imperfection with inadequacy. They understand that faces and bodies carry memory. Stress leaves marks, joy leaves marks, pain leaves marks, time leaves marks. And not every mark is interpreted as damage that needs correction. There is also a clear pattern related to locus of control. Many of these individuals invest control internally rather than externally. They focus on behavior, values, boundaries, emotional regulation, and self-understanding. For them, meaningful change happens through how they live, not how they look. This does not make them superior or more evolved. It simply reflects where they believe agency is most effective. Changing the body does not feel like addressing the root issue, because the root issue is often psychological, not physical. Another misconception worth addressing is comparison culture. People who never get cosmetic surgery are not immune to comparison. They notice beauty trends. They recognize which faces are rewarded socially. They understand the social currency of attractiveness. But they do not experience these standards as commands. They are more aware that beauty ideals are temporary, culturally constructed, and commercially reinforced. Because of this awareness, they feel less urgency to keep up. Not because they reject society, but because they are selective about which expectations they internalize. Avoiding cosmetic surgery does not mean rejecting self-care. Many of these individuals care deeply about health, grooming, and presentation. They may exercise regularly. They may dress thoughtfully. They may care for their skin and appearance. The difference lies in intention. Self-care is experienced as support for the body. Cosmetic surgery, psychologically, can become a negotiation of self-worth. People who never cross that line often separate appearance from deservingness. How they look is not treated as proof of value. Emotional patience is another defining trait. These individuals are often more willing to sit with discomfort instead of rushing to eliminate it. anxiety about aging, fear of being overlooked, moments of self-doubt. These feelings still arise, but instead of immediately correcting the source, they allow time to work, time to understand the feeling, time to integrate it, time to let it soften. This patience reduces impulsive decisions. It also reduces regret. It is important to clarify that not choosing cosmetic surgery is not the same as being afraid of change. Fear-driven avoidance feels tense and restrictive. Reconciliation feels settled. Many people who never pursue cosmetic surgery are not resisting change. They have already made peace with it. Cosmetic surgery itself is not psychologically unhealthy. For some people, surgery restores alignment between inner identity and outer appearance. For others, it reduces long-term distress. This reflection does not argue against cosmetic procedures. It explores a different adaptation style. For people who never choose surgery, alignment happens internally. They adapt the self to the body rather than the body to the self. Over time, this creates a quieter relationship with appearance. Less monitoring, less self-surveillance, less urgency to correct. Perhaps the most important distinction is this: people who never get cosmetic surgery are not necessarily more confident. They are often more reconciled. They have accepted that identity cannot be perfected, that bodies change regardless of control, and that being seen as you are does not require constant correction. If this perspective helped you understand appearance and identity more clearly, consider subscribing to The Inner Observer. Here, we explore psychology, emotional patterns, and the quiet reasons behind human behavior, without noise.